What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Little Strummers Club or Virtual Guitar Club or Online Strummers Group, whatever it is that we're calling this class. Welcome back, and that song that I just played is called Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. Reason why I did that song was because two of the chords I'm going to show you how to do today. Plus, another reason why is that chords are what is kind of like if you imagine the foundation for a house. A lot of that foundation is used from multiple songs. So the D that I started off with, I'm going to show you later on. Plus, it has a G in there, which I'll show you for the next class. And then it ends with an A. Just like that. I know that sounded kind of ugly. Here we go. That's better. Well, there's so many other songs that are going to use those three chords. Like, say for instance, the Beatles' Twist and Shout. So you see how they kind of sound very, very similar to each other, even though I did a different strumming pattern from one song to another. So let's get into it. First, we're gonna start off with the A. And everything I'm gonna show you today is actually what's called a major chord. So you're going to use 3 fingers instead of just 2 like we had talked about on the previous class. You're gonna use 1, 2, and 3. Remember, from the last one, this is going to be 4, and sometimes you're going to use 5, not a lot, and sometimes probably not ever for some of you, just depending on what kind of songs you want to learn. So with an A chord, an A major chord, I'm going to use 3 fingers, and I am going to go to this string right here. It's not the first, it's not the second, it's actually going to be the 3rd string. This one is called the D string. Then you're going to put your middle finger, number 2, on the G. So the G string right here, this is going to be the 3rd from the bottom. And then number 3, your ring finger, is going to go on the B string. That is the 2nd from the bottom. This one is going to be a little difficult to learn how to form if this is your first time making an A major chord. It is a little difficult, so just keep in mind, you want to mash your fingers as close together as possible. So if you can see it like that, what I always do is I mash them together, and then I try and put my fingers as close to this fretboard or this line as possible. Now, this one and this one, obviously they're gonna have to go back a little bit, but as long as you press down really hard and make sure that this ring finger clears this E string right here, then you'll be okay. And it should sound just like that. As a just in case, if you strum it and you hear something like this, just like that, just readjust your fingers and lift them up. Make sure that your thumb is pressed against the back of the neck of the guitar. And if you need to, don't even worry about strumming it. Just pick every single string very slowly until you know that you've cleared the strings. There we go. So we have A, and we're going to go all the way through F, or at least the major chords go all the way through F, but I'm only going to show you just a few of them. We're going to have A, we're going to skip B because it's a little difficult to make, and we're going to go straight to C. Last week I showed you guys how to make what's called an A minor 7th chord, where you only had to use digit number 1, digit number 2, and you put the digit number 1, your index finger, on the B string of the 1st fret. Your number 2, your middle finger, will skip 1 string and go up to this string right here, which is going to be the 3rd from the bottom. That one is the D string. Now we're going to use our number 3, which is our ring finger. We're going to put it on the 3rd fret of the A string, which is going to be the 2nd one from the top, so not the top one. Again, this is going to be another chord that's going to be a little difficult to make just in case if you're learning the coordination and learning how to form your fingers. So please make sure that you are practicing as much as you can, because it will get frustrating, but if you keep at it, I promise you will get a whole lot better over time. And there's the C chord right there. The next chord that we're going to go over is going to be the D chord, or the D major chord, whichever one you want to call it. From here, I'm going to take my number 3, my ring finger. I'm going to place that on the, oh gosh, I keep forgetting what these strings are called. This is called the B string right here. So it's going to be the second one from the bottom. I'm going to take my digit number 2, my middle finger. I'm going to place this on the 2nd fret of the E string, which is the bottom string, this one right here. And then last but not least, I'm going to take my number 1, my index finger, and I'll place that on the G string, which is going to be the 3rd from the bottom. There we go. And like I said, if you need to, just pick every individual string, just to make sure that you got it right. There you go. And then so we have A, B, C, D, and then we have E. Greatest thing about going from D to E is the slide. What I mean by that is that whenever you're forming one chord and going to another, what you want to do is that you want to make sure that at least one finger, if possible, can be an anchor point, one where you don't really have to lift it off of the neck or the fretboard. So my finger, this one right here, number 1, it's actually going to slide back 1 fret, just like that. So if you didn't see that, I went from the D string, or I'm sorry, the D chord. I'm going to lift up just a little bit, and I am going to slide this finger back from the 2nd to the 1st fret. My middle finger, my number 2, will go up to the A string, and then my number 3 will go to the D string. So I have number 2 and number 3 on the 2nd fret. Number 1 is on the 1st fret. Okay, so that is all I'm going to show you for today, because that is a lot to practice, especially if you are starting off with guitar. The only reason why I'm not giving you more as well, just because I kind of get a little excited teaching guitar, is that the other chords will actually use more fingers. Like say for instance, the G will use 4 fingers. The F will actually be a bar chord along with the B, and that gets a little difficult. So again, practice the A chord, the D, where you can go from lifting up, sliding over, and then I can throw in the C. And I know I went out of order, forgive me. And I can go from the D to an E just by sliding. So your homework is practicing those chords, and as you get a little bit more comfortable forming these chords and making a clean sound, see if there is a finger where you can just slide it over or just not even move in order to help you transition from one chord to another. I really do appreciate you all looking at these videos, and I hope you all have a wonderful time practicing. Bye, everybody.